Hi, my name is Dr. Deva Khalsa. I've been a holistic veterinarian for over 30 years. I'm a best-selling author. I write for several magazines, and I lecture internationally. And welcome to Part 5 in Cancer Treatment and Prevention in Dogs and Cats. And today we're going to talk about holistic treatments for cancer that work. I've been treating both dogs and cats holistically for cancer for over 30 years. And if your dog or cat has cancer, there are some viable options. Unfortunately, chemotherapy has a limited success in most of the cancers found in dogs and cats, with the exception of lymphosarcoma. The first option I'll go over is cancer salve. In the 1950s, the use of herbal cancer salves for tumors had a 75 to 80% success rate. With the advent of radiation and chemotherapy, the method went underground. Yet salves containing herbal preparations have been used to treat cancer for the last 2,500 years. In my opinion, cancer salves are reasonable alternatives in many cases of cancer of the skin. They are the ideal situation when a pet owner is willing to participate in the treatment. These salves contain ingredients that penetrate and kill the cancer. I have used salves many times on mast cell tumors and squamous cell carcinomas on the skin with very, very good success. The area is first shaved of fur, and then a small amount of cancer salve is placed on the affected area. Often the salves recommend waiting 10 to 20 minutes before wiping off. Within a few days, some swelling and redness will appear in the area, hardly any. This can be alarming to squeamish owners, but it's really not much. After this, the tumor, or the part of the tumor the salve reached, dries up and falls right off. The site needs to be evaluated to see if another application is needed. Small mast cell tumors often require only 1 or 2 treatments, while large skin masses require more than that. Many holistic veterinarians use cancer salves, and I recommend that you work with your veterinarian if you wish to try this technique. You can find salves called black salve and CanSema salve, and there's even a CanSema for cats, dogs, and horses from Alpha Omega Labs. Right on the web, and CanSema is spelled C-A-N-S-E-M-A. You can find it right on the web with Alpha Omega Labs. While cancer salves go back to the time of Egypt, double helix water is a modern discovery. We're all familiar with the 3 common forms of water: ice, liquid, and steam or vapor. Double helix water is a recently discovered 4th form of water. So what is it? How is it different from the other 3 common forms of water? Well, this 4th form of water is a dry solid at room temperature, and it'll just sit there on your kitchen table indefinitely, remaining a dry white powder. But you can add it to distilled water or reverse osmosis water, where the dry particles of water start to naturally attach to one another in the familiar double helix configuration, just like seen in DNA. Thus the name double helix water. Cancer starts with DNA alterations, and double helix water forms a double helix conformation, just like DNA. It's been extensively tested in UCLA and even at NASA. I've always used double helix water along with Vital Vites from Deserving Pets. Double helix water works with the DNA on the energetic level, while Vital Vites gives the cells all the tools that they need to repair themselves. I did many case studies on dogs and cats for the double helix people several years ago, and was amazed at the success rate this product had for autoimmune disease, arthritis, and yes, cancer. Buddy, who was a little Yorkie, had 5 nickel-sized tumors in his lungs, and that's pretty big for a little Yorkie. A month later, he had none, and he has been fine for 3 or 4 years or more. It's really easy to give to your cats and dogs because you give it in distilled water or reverse water, and they drink it, or you can syringe it in. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes just like water. You can get it on my site at drdeva.com, DOCTORDEVA.com, if you click shopping links on the home page. Another good option for treating cancer, although I don't find it as successful as double helix water, is something called Essiac Tea. Here's the history. In 1922, a Canadian nurse named Renee Cassie was told of an Obijue Indian tea that could cure cancer. It consisted of burdock root, sheep sorrel, slippery elm, and rhubarb root. Renee made this up for her aunt, who had incurable cancer, which completely resolved. Now, Renee continued to use this tea to treat people with cancer. Because of this, she was persecuted for nearly 40 years. When she was threatened with arrest, doctors and patients always came to her rescue. Renee Casey never claimed it was cancer cure. She said it does not relieve pain and improves your odds of overcoming the disease. In 1959, Renee Casey introduced her Essiac formula to Dr. Charles Brush, MD, physician to President John F. Kennedy. She started a study supervised by 18 doctors on both terminal cancer patients and laboratory mice with cancer. On both the mice and humans, the Essiac formula reduced the size of the mass. Human patients also reported a reduction in pain and discomfort. In 1990, Dr. Brush commented that tumors were easier to remove surgically and there was less bleeding after patients had been on a course of Essiac Tea. In fact, he had cured his own bowel cancer with Essiac Tea. The name Essiac is Casey spelled backwards. Most health food stores carry packets of the mixed herbs which you brew on your own, and or a prepared mix. It's convenient and inexpensive to use. Dosages for dogs are available along with preparation guidelines on the instruction paper inside the box. It should be used 3 times a day for 12 consecutive weeks. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hawksley Herbs. Harry Hawksley was an herbal folk healer who developed an herbal therapy which he learned from his great-grandfather. In the 1840s, the elder Hawksley, a veterinarian, put a horse with cancer on pasture out to die. He watched as the horse grazed on certain plants and the cancer diminished. He formulated a salve from these plants and used it to treat cancer in other horses. Today, the Hawksley therapy consists of herbal preparations for both internal and external use. The formula is made up of red clover, buckthorn bark, burdock root, stigelia root, and barberry bark, chaparral, licorice root, prickly ash bark, and cascara. The external formula also contains an old Native American herb used to treat cancer called bloodroot. Humans with lymphoma, melanoma, and skin cancer seem to respond most favorably to this treatment. You can get all the products above on the web. I've used both the Cansema and the double Helix water repeatedly with success. IV vitamin C, Chinese herbs, and homeopathic remedies are also good for treating cancer, but Chinese herbs and homeopathic remedies must be prescribed by a trained veterinarian, and the IV vitamin C must also be administered by a veterinarian. Last of all, a company called Rawmakers Nutrition in Santa Cruz, California, sells a veterinary immune formula which has worked successfully to cure cancer in many, many cases. Veterinarians must prescribe this product. I wish you the very best of luck if your dog or cat has cancer. I hope that this information has helped you, because I want you to have healthier dogs and cats. My blog, dogandcatvitamins.com, has great information on it, and I look forward to seeing you there.